I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're diving into the insightful world of leadership with an amazing author. Her name is Gaile Newsome, and she's written a powerful book. It's called Living, Learning, Leadership. This compelling book explores leadership through practical examples and daily life lessons influenced by business, biblical references, family, and ministry. Join us as Gaile shares the secrets to unlocking your leadership potential and creating lasting success. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Gaile, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
Great to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thanks for joining us on the show. It's great to have you here. Tell us what inspired you to write Living, Learning, Leadership, and share your insights on leadership.
Wow. Honestly, it started as an assignment in Bible class that I was doing. And the review was good. And they said, this is really great. So I decided to take the chance and submit this manuscript. And that's what really happened. So
that was a good assignment that you got because it produced a wonderful book. We should all have such fruitful discussions and assignments at Bible study. Mm-hmm. What do you view as some of the top qualities of a leader?
A leader, number one, I believe they have to be approachable. They have to be caring. And they have to take a moment and listen to a person, but more so put yourself in the other person's shoes and see how you would like to be approached or how you would like to be treated, and then work from there. And then see what the need is for whatever the circumstance is, whether it's business or whether it's family, and see what strategies you can utilize to get to that end. That's basically it. I think summing it up. Okay.
You've had varied life experience working in healthcare, working in the ministry. What are some of the influences on you when you look to write a book like this about leadership? Was it from your work in the ministry, or was it more in healthcare, or a combination? Tell us about that.
Wow. Okay. I think mainly it started out that the title, leadership, and then figuring out, truth be told, if I would be so honest, it was like, how do I fill up the pages? What do I fill it up with? And then started to think, okay, let's just as they say, go for it. And start thinking, okay, it doesn't have to be just confined to the biblical experience, but then actually looking the lifestyles and looking my personal life and family and say, okay, let's draw on these examples or experiences. And that's where all of this came from, basically.
Wonderful. You also integrate biblical principles and family values into your leadership approach. Tell us about some of those biblical principles.
Well, biblically wise, one of the persons that really stood out as far as the Bible is concerned, besides the triune God, was Moses. And just thinking of him, and it just got awesome. I say, God bless Moses, because it really takes a lot dealing with people. So I looked at him, I looked at David and Joshua and the different ones. And that's where, and also you have Ruth and Naomi and such. I hope I'm not getting too deep as far as the Bible.
No, it's perfect.
And so therefore you have the male view, plus you have Ruth and Naomi, you have Esther, so you have the women's view also. And putting all of these different ones and the experiences, and then the trauma that they may have gone through and the emotional ups and downs, and then yet still in all to communicate with the God himself, and then to lead people to complete an assignment that's where all of that's involved, and I drew from there.
Wonderful. What are some of the key differences between leaderships who create, or leaders rather, who create a lasting legacy and those who are just flashes in the pan?
Ah, Logan, I think really it might be what your agenda is. If it's a selfish agenda, most of the time, even though it thrives for a while, it's short-lived. Or when your eyes close, it's gone, and people are just glad, or your memory, or they try to act as though you never exist. But one that leads with love, or leads with concern, and leads with sincerity, usually that has a lasting effect. And definitely if they lead with the influence of having God in their life, it has a lasting effect. I've seen it and I have to believe it.
Moral authority is very, very important.
Oh,
And
definitely.
having, worthwhile goals for the church, for the organization, for the company, or even the group of individuals that you're leading make all the difference in the world. I think your book points that out very, very clearly. What practical advice do you have for people who are looking to enhance their leadership skills and make a positive impact in their organizations?
Wow. Enhance the leadership skills. First, have a one-to-one moment with yourself, if I should say it like that, and sit down and really ask yourself, what are you in it for, or what do you want to achieve, or even look and see how you look at yourself. How do you see yourself? Because sometimes, even as in leadership, you might be the right person, but if you have low self-esteem and really you don't think much of yourself, and say even if you don't have the support around you, you really won't go far. You might have a dream within you, but it won't, as they say, mature or come to fruition or be birthed. So first off, have a moment with yourself, see what you want to do, give yourself a true assessment, and then go from there. And then see, what your surroundings are and what you have to work with. And I think from that point, you can go start.
Absolutely. That is wonderful advice and certainly a great starting point for sure. Now, you've dedicated 4 decades of your life to youth ministry. Tell us a little bit about your work there. Has it been rewarding? What kind of impact do you think you've had? And
Wow.
where have your leadership capabilities and assets come into play?
Wow. I'm hoping I can say this without getting choked up.
Mm.
Um, I love youth in general. I have a passion for youth, for children, for young adults, just youth in general. Um, it has been rewarding, sometimes hurtful, because sometimes you have certain ones that we call them ingrates, okay? And then sometimes you have others that later on in life, they come back and say, you don't know the impact that you had in my life. And when I was in if we say, a dark place, because of what you did, that helped me so much. So it helps, it helps. Did I answer that one okay?
Answered that one perfectly. And it is great working with children because, as the song famously says, I believe that children are the future. So
Mm,
when you are molding and shaping their lives, influencing their lives, giving them some perhaps love and concern that they're not getting at home in some cases,
definitely.
you're making a huge difference. If you change the life of a child, you change the world.
It's true. It's true. Definitely so. Definitely so.
Are you
And
thinking about doing any more writing now that you've published Living, Learning, and Leadership?
honestly, I have, and there have been some folks calling on the phone asking if there's a sequel or if I started a second manuscript. Um, I have different avenues that I'm thinking of, but yeah, I'm really seriously thinking about writing another piece of work. I'll put it like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think you've got lots of stuff to talk about from your years as a nurse, from your years working in youth ministry. I think you've got a lot of life experience that sharing the lessons you've learned over the course of your life would be wonderful. The name of the book we've been focusing on today, written by Gaile Newsome, is called Living, Learning, and Leadership. It is a compelling book that explores leadership through practical examples and daily life lessons. It is influenced by business, biblical references, family, and ministry. Gaile shares the secrets in her book to unlocking your leadership potential and creating lasting success. Gaile, thanks so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you for having me again. Thank you.
Pleasure's all mine. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.